Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I am Valerie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm joined with hubby.
Okay.
And today he's burning with me because we're learning to burn a flower.
And because you guys are making me.
Yes, the Super Toasty has also helped. Hey, Hewitt, Andrea, Spence, Teresa, Burrow. So I have the.
I was gonna say, where's my thing?
You're gonna be focused on burning. Because if I give him the bright and shiny, I know.
So I don't have to work.
If I give you the bright and shiny, I know you will focus on that. So.
It's because it's my job.
I gave everyone the pattern. So if you are in the super group, if you're in my big regular Facebook group, I gave you guys the pattern. I also have set up my Ko-fi account where you can become a member, but I also put the pattern there for free. So if you want to burn along, we are going to keep this basic. So today we are burning on Baltic birch. We're using the Trekell board. It's upside down. And these are 4x6s. The pattern that I posted I thought was 4x6 is actually right around 5x7. We both have the exact same pattern, same wood, and we are going to start off with the small spear shader, which I am heating up to 2, so go ahead and dial to 2. And you can go ahead and take it off of that. Just remember to, I'm going to give you a holder, I think, somewhere.
I want to be technical.
Yes, I'm going to give you a holder.
So
just because it makes it easier.
I have chosen the bendy pointed one.
The bendy pointed one.
Because
hi, Tina.
This is the one that
Wanda.
she gave me to start with.
All right, so we've heated to 2. You have a test board just to test your heat. We're not going too hot. We just want a little bit brown because we're starting off in the middle. And in the very middle, there's a tight circle. So we're just going to use the tip of our pen and just put a dot. That's it. Just put a dot.
Okay, hang on. Okay.
Okay, so just use the tip of the pen and just put a dot.
Okay, and did it. Now what?
On your wood, on your flower in the center.
Oh.
See?
I thought we were just testing.
Well, you tested. If it's the heat that you want, go ahead inside the flower.
Okay.
Now,
this is intense.
I know. I sanded the wood 220, 320, and 400, so that's how the wood has been prepped.
Okay, I see that's...
Yep, just do the little dot.
So.
Well, however size you want, because you've got the color, you have the sepia, which is the same as what's on the screen.
Okay.
All right, now where there's the jiggly line outside the second circle, that is the heat. That's the darker area of the flower. So we're just going to use the tip again, and we're going to tap and drag, tap and drag.
Tap and drag.
Yep, because we want it to kind of come out. So just the tip, tap and drag.
Okay.
Now remember, birch requires a little higher heat. If you're using a basswood, you might have to lower your temperature. So just tap and drag all the way around. And I gave hubby my giant door rest thingies to prop his board up, so my easel may scooch back a little bit. So we're just going to use the tip, touch and drag, touch and drag. We can always darken it later.
Wow, you can really feel the... I didn't realize how much I was going to be able to feel the grain. No, it's smooth.
Oh, okay.
I'm very sensitive because I'm a professional.
Actually, I gave I have 2 18 smalls, and so I've got the new one. We can always switch if it makes you feel more comfortable. Alrighty, so we got just that in. Let's see here. Yeah, my
You're going faster than me.
easel keeps moving.
That's
So,
okay.
tap and drag just the end. Forward in. I know you can't see what I'm doing, whereas everybody else can, and if they're following along, they can see what I'm doing. So
I think it'd be confusing. I could put my phone up and watch you, but it would be like...
Yeah, we're behind.
Yeah, you'd be talking and then I'd be seeing it.
Hey, Teresa. I don't know if I got Teresa, but I'm going to do it again. Yes, hubcap is burning today. Now, you don't have to push hard. Let's see. You can actually put your heat up just a little bit more.
Like how much?
Half.
Okay.
Remember, it's how you also move your pins. So if you're going really fast, it's going to burn slow or lighter. If you want it darker, just slow your pin down.
It's a lot harder than I remember.
Well, you haven't done it in a while. And I'm going to actually bump up to 2.5 because we are going to go around that second center circle, the bigger one, so that we can pull the darkness into where the light is in the middle. So just touching at the base of that circle with the tip.
My circle's not a circle anymore.
Well, it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, it's a flower. There's no perfect circles.
But aren't they all perfect?
They're perfect flowers, but not perfect centers. Circles. So just tap and drag right along that graphite line I gave you so that it's darker where we touch down. And then as we drag out, it lightens. And that gives us some variation. And since I bumped up to 2.5, because we want to make this center look like it's popping out.
Okay.
And so we can now darken that first area. For me, I'm going back over where I burned in the tip with touch and drag on the big circle, the rays of sun, right? So I can darken those so we have some separation. And then we're going to move on to the petals. That's how quick. We can always go back and darken. So.
Okay.
Alrighty, so which petal would be easier for you to start on?
Now, I have a question. Wouldn't it be, like, my instinct here is to, like, do the negative burning of the petals?
That would be the leaves. We will do that, but let's get the petal shape in the middle first.
Okay.
We're not outlining at all.
No.
If it would make you feel better, looking at the flower, below the circle, there's a little leaf that pops out right here.
Yeah.
I transferred the pattern, so he's not going to know it as much. I'll do this.
Well, no,
Let's go ahead and burn that in for the negative burn of the petal. You can go ahead and keep it at the temperature we're at. Hey, Mike. Let's see if I missed any. We're both using the 18 small, bro. And then just touch and drag down so we can get some dark in there. And then that just shaped our pattern, our bottom petals. So
right.
we'll stay focused on those. Now, looking at our pattern, right here where this line is on it, this is where the petal actually dips down and comes up. So where it's dipping away from the light, that's darker. And then we have a light ridge up at the top. And that's what makes it feel like the petal is dipping and moving, because we want that for realistic petal. We need that movement. So I'm actually going to flip my board upside down so I can pull from it. And leading on hubcap.
Okay.
And I'm going to lower my heat back down to 2.
There's a sticker on it.
Did you really just do that?
You said turn it upside down.
Turn it upside down.
Wait.
It's going to be a long day, huh?
How long is this? How long are we doing this for?
So you're upside down.
What
We are
am I doing
gonna
now?
the top right petal.
Wait.
We are. Let
Is
me
it top right or is it lower left?
this
now?
one. This one right here.
Oh, God.
Top right.
Oh, okay.
You see where that line is that allows us. So I bumped down to 2.
Wait,
I want a
what?
lighter burn.
What are you talking about?
This line right there.
Oh.
This is where
It's
flip your here.
slightly
There you go.
darker.
Flip. There you go. I need to remember. You guys need to turn your reference photo the way your wood is. Once you get used to burning, your brain can go back and forth, switching it. But I forgot.
So you wanna do the shadow.
This one, the shadow.
Okay.
Yep. We'll get there.
I got that.
It's been a while since we've done this together.
Okay.
So
Last time was Christmas ornaments, so it was like less pressure.
2 years ago. Alright, so touch down and drag straight down. Very quickly, moving quickly. We don't want it too dark. We're just going to drag down towards the center, following the shape of the petal. Now, see, the quicker I move, the lighter it's going to be. It comes up a little bit. Remember, different parts of the grain burn differently. So we just need to adjust with that sometimes. Drag down quickly.
My flower has a defect.
Your flower has a what?
I touched down too hard.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's
okay. Just remember we
again.
do what?
I did it again.
That's okay.
Oh, I did it again. Oh no.
Alright, go ahead and use the holder and put your pen down so we can show everybody, because this is all going to be normal for you to burning.
No, I don't want to show this.
Come on. I show my mistakes.
You don't make mistakes.
Yes, I do. Okay, so what happened was he touched down a little dark here. That means he was moving his pen, and then he lifted it up, and the pen reheated. The tip reheated that quickly that when you touched down, it made the dreaded blob. That's what that is.
So
That's the
I'm supposed
dreaded.
to stay touched down.
Yeah, stay touched down. Let me flip it
Okay, that's a
upside down.
hard habit to break.
It is a hard habit. See, to keep it even, you need to keep moving it.
Yeah.
But if you need to lift, because that, oh, I almost took yours, because that happens.
Yes, I'll take that one.
That happens. You can, as you're going to touch down with your pen, you can blow very quickly on the tip, just like that. And that will knock off just enough heat that when you touch down, as you're moving to touch down, excuse me, you won't get the dreaded blob as quickly.
Okay.
So it's all a matter of timing. So you have to have your hand moving, and just as you're going to touch down, blow and keep moving.
Okay.
So you want to practice that real quick on the back side. That way you get the habit, the feeling of it. So we'll just flip it over. Above the sticker and below the sticker, I did sand.
Okay.
So that if we needed to use it. So here I am. I've got my hand right above my piece. I've tested my heat setting to make sure that's what I want. I've got a scrap piece of birch off to the side. So I'm holding my pen above, and I'm going to blow and touch. And then once I get going, that heat that I pulled off the tip, it will come up a little bit because I've blown the tip more than what I need, but that's okay because now I've gotten a smooth, even gradient. See, once I pull it up and then I touch down again, which my heat setting is probably not the best, and I'm using a new tip. Yeah, let me turn my heat up while you practice. I'm going to go up to 3.5 so that you have the real visual. Do you feel the difference? Now try just dragging instead of the elbows, and put your pen parallel to the wood and try dragging down. There you go.
Like
As in flat.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, flat.
That's how I got the spot.
Alright, so we're going to try again. I've bumped up to 3.5 while he's practicing.
This is really hard.
I know, it takes a little practice. That's why we're practicing.
I just assumed that this was easy all this time because you make it look easy.
No, these are all little
It's
things
like
that
the
you've
Olympics. It's like, oh, I can do that. High jump, no problem. That's easy.
Alright, so just as I'm about to hit, let's see here. I'm going to try to angle this camera so you can see how close I am. There we go, let's try that. Alright, so right before, so basically I'm using my hand for the thickness. I'm not that far away. Blow, touch. Now I did dark there, let's try it again. See, no blob. And then I can go back over the area and darken it. Yeah. You get used to certain pens, and although this is the exact same pen, because every pen is handmade, you can feel it just a little different each time. Alrighty, so we got that. Burl said you need to learn how to scrape the burn. We may have to do that. Alright. So how do you feel now? Remember, blow on the tip.
Yeah.
And have it moving at the same time. It's all a dance. Blow, touch. Blow, drag. Blow, drag. And if you have to do it a couple of times, that's okay. Just get used to it. See, you're using more of the tip versus like the bottom third of the tip. That'll give you a thicker burn. Let's see, I'm going to darken that a little bit just so I can see. Alrighty, so I'm going to bump down. Go ahead and bump down 2. I'm going to drag my pen across my test piece of wood a couple of times, and it'll help draw out the heat so that I can go back to burning quicker. Alrighty, so where are we? So we do have our lines. We do not want to outline. Let me flip my board back. We just want to go up against the line. Yeah. Yeah, you get used to something, and then when you switch, it can be hard to get used to again. And each tip. So we're going to drag down. Just drag down and make some of those petal lines that are not overly obvious, but they are there. We also have this tip here. We need to darken just a bit.
When I was watching you there, I was reading in chat. Some of them want me to do this like 4 times a year.
Well, we're going to finish this whole piece.
Today?
Not today. We're only focusing on the flower because I don't want it to become overwhelming.
Okay, I was going to say, like, I can't do that.
No, but I would like us to get the flower finished.
Okay.
So just drag. And now I gave you my eraser.
Okay.
So if you need to erase, go ahead. And then where we have our dark, we do have some gradient coming out. Let me see here. So we need to pull that out. Now remember, always try, if possible, to touch down in an area that's already been burned, because in doing that, it'll help cool your tip off so you don't get that dreaded excuse me, blob. And it allows you to move over to a lighter area. There we go. Let's see. Hey Shirley. So how you doing?
Doing alright.
I need you to talk to me so I know what a beginner needs.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know where they're feeling a little lost.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons you're here.
I'm not necessarily feeling lost. It's just unfamiliar to me. Like,
Yeah.
I know that this is not going to turn out as nearly anything as good as yours. And then I'm not...
It takes practice.
Because I'm not used to the medium. So, like, what I'm doing, right, is I know you're working specifically on that petal, but I'm, like, my brain functions a little differently.
Okay.
So I went to the darks because I want to see...
So you're negative burning first.
I'm negative burning, yeah,
okay.
right now. And I'm having problems.
Okay.
I think that the biggest thing for me that I'm learning is the shape of this tip. Like where it burns and how it burns on what side.
Okay, flip your wood upside down, back to the back again, and just practice at a little higher heat.
Well, I think I want to keep the current heat for right now.
Well, I'm so that you can learn that tip. See, you hold your tip. He's holding his tip at an angle. You're holding it to the left, and I think that's because you're left-handed.
Yes.
So try to roll it so the tip is more flat.
You can't make me right-handed.
I don't want you right. I want it flat. I don't want you to go to the right either. I just want the tip flat. Now try dragging. But you're dragging from the side. When I say
You're gonna drag like straight down?
Straight down. I'm going to turn up my heat so people can see. So look how I'm holding the tip. I've got it parallel to the wood. There you go. There you go. Slow down, because it'll lighten it up. The slower you go, the darker it'll be. There you go. I wanted to put the camera on his hand so you could see, but then you couldn't see us. Hey, Scotty. Let's see here. He says, I use a piece of denim cloth to clear off carbon, including the tips. I picked up to use a spare bit of wood to draw the heat out of the pin first. What do you mean by a negative burn? Negative burn is when... Alright, let me pull my reference. Actually, let me switch it over.
Smoother.
Yeah.
Huh.
Alright. This is the original reference, other than it's shifted. So if you look around, you've got all these darks. And then you've got this light based on the flower. Negative burn is putting in all the darks around the light so that you're not outlining the white or the light part. You're only burning around it, and it pops it forward. And this keeps you... So negative burning, I'll do it real quickly here. We've got a dark. Let me check my reference. Let's see here. Alright. I'm just trying to find a dark. We have a dark on this side. I've bumped my heat up 3.5. And I'm just burning around my line for the petal and the leaf. I can always blend it back in. So this is me negative burning around the subject. That way, because it's light, you don't want to do outlines. So we negative burn. I'm going to go with the grain, it'll be darker. Remember, going against the grain may result in a lighter burn. I'm just trying to get enough information so you can see how... Let's see here. We have a bit of dark here. I didn't put in all the petals in the reference because I didn't want it to be overwhelming. So right here, I've just negative burned around that petal. So now when I go to erase, excuse me, when I go to erase, which I pressed really hard on the graphite in order to, so you guys could see. I now have my petal in place without outlining it. So that's what negative burning is. My easel keeps moving. I wonder if I should stick something back there just so it'll stay put. Oh, that'll work perfect right there. Alrighty. There we go. Not moving anymore. Alright, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to bump down back to 2.5. So how you doing? Yeah, you definitely have to learn and figure out the pen, but we need to go back to the flower since that's what we're focusing on. Please.
This is flower.
The flower head. The actual petals of the flower. That's what we're focusing on. Alright. So let's do another flower. Petal.
Okay.
Let's see here. We'll go 1/4. Let's see here. To here. So we're just going to go over to this petal right
I
there.
didn't negative burn this though. Well, I guess I can do it both at the same time.
Yeah, you can do it both at the same time, just like I did. Alright, so again, where am I? We have some lines down the middle. I'm going to touch down and move quickly. A little darker than I wanted, but that's okay. It'll just make it more dynamic. So we're going to drag. Now the center of the petal is the dividing point. The petal goes this way and goes this way if you pay attention to the lines. So we're going to make sure, kind of like a continental divide for the rivers. It switches how the river flows. That's the same with this petal here. That's a leaf back there. Alright, so we're going to drag. Let's see here. Now where the petal kind of curves away from the light, that tip is going to be darker. So we need to get some of those darks in. I'm just using the tip on 2.5 and I'm dragging very quickly because I don't want too much of a burn. We can go darker. Pull from the dark into the light. That way you don't have the blobs. Remember, if you touch down in an already burned area, it helps pull the heat without giving you the blobs. Let's see here. Ah, you're very welcome, Scotty. Negative burning can make things really stand out. You don't have the outlines, so it feels more realistic. Now I've got a pretty big mess here. Then we have a dark here. So I'm just going to go ahead and bump up to 3.5. I'm going to do my darks in layers. So 3.5 is where I'm going to start. Bump up right next to my graphite. Follow the outside line of the petals. And in doing it this way, it's already blending in, because you could do outlines, but then you have to burn those, you have to blend those outlines in, and that can be harder to do. So just negative burning around it. Sometimes it looks like the negative burn is just a thick outline, but we're blending it out into nothing, into the darkness. Again, I'm burning against the grain. There we go. See, once I slowed down, lift, drag, it allows just enough time for that tip to reheat, which means you can use a lower heat setting, which means cooler hands and less carbon buildup on your tip. So slow down and lower that heat. I know there's videos showing red hot tips, but it's just not the best way to go. Wanda. Hey, Rhonda. There's no dumb question, Wanda. Did I miss it? Okay, no, she hadn't done it yet. And then I can also move in ovals around the...
You're also the same thing?
Yeah.
No dumb questions.
There's not. Besides, if you have it 10 to 1, there's multiple people that have the same question. So how are you doing now?
I was doing pretty good, but I made a blob just now.
Alright, why don't we take a second to learn how to fix blobs? Because we all make them. We we all need to learn how to fix them. So I'm going to turn my heat down just so I can try to get it. Let me see your tone. Just so I can kind of get the same, can you see? Blob. Let's see here. So we're going for that blob right here. Ooh, it's still hot. Alright, so we're burning. And we accidentally try to make a blob. And it ain't working. Maybe I should have you make a blob for me. Because you know how you did it. Or you know how it felt to you. No, on the back of mine.
Of yours?
Yeah, because we're going to show it on camera how to fix it.
Oh, okay. That's no problem.
Yep, just make a blob for me. I've repeatedly heard the term layers. Does that mean burning light to dark or what? Layers just meaning I don't start everything light. I try to start a step or two below what I visually want the dark to be. So if I want it to be a medium dark burn, I'll start at medium. And layer is I put the first layer down, raise my heat, and put another layer down. So I'm burning right over the area I've just burned at. That is a layer. You're burning on top of what you've already burned on. So it goes light to dark. You're not going to go dark to light with layers like that because the dark burn's already there. Unless, of course, you sand it and remove the burn and then go back and do it again. So not a dumb question. Alright, do I have enough blob there?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we are going to fix the blob, but you're going to do it on your flower. So go ahead and put your pen down. Remember, it's hot. We don't want you to burn yourself.
Okay. Do I leave my pen on or shut it off?
You can shut it off since you're not used to working around a hot pen.
What am I doing now?
I'm going to hand you what is called
Oh, I know what that
a sanding stick.
Yep. It's good for your teeth.
One side is less fine than the other, so find the less fine side first.
I got that.
Alright, go over to your blob. Always, always, always do your hand motion in the direction of the grain. So right here, because of how I flip my wood, my grain is going left to right. You can see it here. So I want to sand left to right. Now this is the first way we can lighten the blob. And then we can flip the stick and just kind of smooth it out. But if it's a darker blob, what I tend to do, I still have my sanding stick here. But what I also have is a, let's see here, ripped up piece of 320 sandpaper and 400 sandpaper. And I start with the 300. Did you get it the way you wanted it?
I think as much as I'm going to.
I wrap it around just because I need a little bit of grasp to the sandpaper, so I wrap it around my sanding stick, and then it just allows me a little bit more control. Again, go. This is 320. I can start with that first. I try to sand a bigger area than where the blob is because then we can blend it back in and it doesn't create a hole or a divot in the wood. So I'm going to hand you the 300.
What about the other side?
320.
What about the other side?
What do you mean what about the other side?
What's this side?
Just go to the 320. That's fine. That was just one example.
Okay.
Wrap it around. There you go. I'm going to pick up the 400, wrap it around. Go with the grain. And now we've lightened it enough that when we go to burn back over it, we can blend it in. Now if we want to get rid of it altogether, 400. We have to go back up to 400 because that's what the rest of the wood is. So if you've sanded to 600, then you would need to go to 600 again to smooth it out. How's it going?
It's going good.
Alright, so if we've made a mistake, we can do the sanding like we did before. I can also take a knife and scrape. I don't particularly like this way. I will knock something back far enough for me to blend it in. Because once you use the knife like this, you then need to do the whole sanding to smooth the wood back out. Because once you take a tip and go back over this, it's going to grab. So I'm going to go one way and then go this way. And I just don't like how it gouges the wood. You want to try it with a knife or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Alright.
That's too advanced.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm going to take my sandpaper. I'm going to keep your stick here. So you're going to have to probably turn your heat down just a little bit to blend in those areas. And then, it's where your blob is. You're going to have to blend that in.
I don't know, it's pretty low.
What's it at?
2.5.
I'd go down to 2. So I'm trying to sand this wood back. Closer to 3.
I accidentally touched down while I was looking away.
You know, I'm not going to give you a hard time because I've done that. I have dozed off while burning, which is not safe. The minute...
See?
What'd you do?
It's like the spot there.
Did you put... Is that the spot you just took out, basically?
Well, it's not far from it.
Alright, so...
Sorry, I'm going to leave it in.
You're going to leave it in?
Yep.
You know what? That's fine, actually, because flower petals have dots. So if you want to leave it in, go for it.
Yep.
Alright. Grab my eraser so we can see. Remember, especially for light burns, graphite or carbon, which I don't recommend using, will darken your burn. So the sooner you can erase it, the sooner you will see the difference in the burn. It'll also look cleaner. So I'm trying to erase some of this without losing the outline. Although since I do have some negative burn already here, totally okay. Alright. I really don't like swiping my hand across the wood. I just don't like the feeling. So that's why I have the brush. Alright, let me go ahead and put this darker leaf in just so we have it. So the petals are going to go back and forth like that. We're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So now, because of how dark I did, I do need to actually bump up. This is a leaf here. It is darker. We do see it, but it is darker. So I need to get it darker than this petal. Right now I'm moving quickly, doing oval circles. Because it's a good burn. It's a good stroke across the grain. We need some stripes down. Just some variegation in the leaves. So this is going to have to go much darker. But I can quickly bump my heat back up to 3.5, do some negative burn. Craig! Scrape like a piece of burnt toast, toasties. Alright, let's get this negative burn around the leaf. I really wanted to get the whole flower head done before the end of the live.
Well, you can. Alright,
I don't want to leave
speed
you.
It up. I'll pick it up a notch.
I don't want to leave you.
Time to... Don't leave me.
Because I said we were going to do...
I never let you go, Jack.
Learn how to burn realistically in less than an hour. So, that's the title of this video. Oops. Screwed up the leaf, so I'm actually going to cut it in.
Finish the flower. Forget about me.
Alright.
Yeah,
So
this is actually when we did the Santa decoration, the dirty Santa decoration, it was more of a cartoony thing.
Yep.
And so it was easier to do because it was less, I wasn't worried about realism. So,
and remember, it's gonna stay ugly until it doesn't anymore. You gotta be
well, I understand
nice
that.
to yourself.
I understand that.
Alright, so I'm gonna move on to the next leaf, or petal, just so we can have a finished flower. Dragging from the heat. Cut that in a little bit more. Alright. So I'm just moving around. On the graphite, that's where some lines are, so I'm going to drag those down. Let's see here. 1, 2. Alright, there we are. We've got to have these darks at the end to give the ripple effect of the petal. Let's see here. Look at the right photo. There we go. Drag it down, moving quickly. I definitely don't want to use any lines because nature doesn't create beauty with lines. Nothing in nature has straight lines. We got to keep that in mind. Drag that in. We got some dark up here.
This is exhausting.
What do you mean exhausting?
It.
I mean, yes, it can be tiring because you're...
Oh, okay. I'm used to being able to cover a large area quickly.
Well, the longer you burn, the faster you will get. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I feel like...
But right now, it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. It can be exhausting. You're not used to sitting and moving a pin this way.
My arm hurts.
Yeah. It can do that. We got dark up here.
I have a whole new level of respect now.
It's also a different focus. It's a different kind of focus because you really have to be aware of where this hot tip is at all times.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get burned. And knock on wood, I have not burned myself. Now hey, like I said, I have been so tired while burning that I have done one of this, or where you tell yourself, I'm just going to close my eyes for a second. And I have made some mistakes. Luckily, my hand almost seemed to have muscle memory to not go in the wrong spot. I got lucky.
Your brain went on autopilot.
Yeah, definitely make sure to flip. Are you flipping your reference to go? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
When I drove across country when I got out of the army the first time. And
Louder.
I was trying to make it to Minnesota to visit my buddy.
They know Troy.
Yeah, oh yeah, and
Remember?
And I was driving from Philadelphia, and I was trying to do it in one shot without having to stop. And I remember at one point I was really, really tired, and I was in the right lane, slow lane, and I was going along, and I woke up in the left lane next to a semi, and I was like, all right, it's time to stop. But my brain had coincidentally, I'm not going to say like it had autopiloted. But,
No, it did.
But something happened there. I was very lucky that I did not run into the semi or off the road.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to very quickly just darken this up so we can pop out the leaf. And so, because I've already burned in this area, I've bumped it up to 4.5. I'm going to move quickly. Move with the grain. We will focus on the leaves, the bigger leaves, and the dark background. I'm just showing you so you don't feel like it's too hard to do. I really want people to give this a try, regardless of what level they're burning at.
If Hubcap can do it, you can do it.
Which actually is in the description.
Oh, jeez.
It's in the description.
Thanks, Val.
I'm going to touch down. I need some more darks here to help pop out the center. Just using the tip. Moving quickly. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Now I need to drag and shape more of this leaf.
Yeah, I've got a new respect for this now. I'm
You say that.
not that I wasn't always impressed with what you do, because I am, but I think it's just ratcheted up a few levels now.
It's not the first time you've done this.
I should call you Burn Master V.
No. No. Remember that's a brand
Yes, I know.
that they don't use?
But I was referring to.
I know what you were saying.
I was referring to.
Inside joke.
You know.
Just an inside
You're just trying to shut it down, aren't you?
There you go. Alright, so that's a leaf. So it's back and forth. Because I don't think we're going to be adding color to this. I'm going to bump down to 2.5. I wasn't happy. Every time I burn leather, and it's so weird, every time I try to work on a leather project, I start getting very sleepy. And it's vegetarian leather, so it's not like chemicals from well, it's
chemically induced sleepiness.
I can't get through it. It really makes me sleepy. Alright, let's get this last petal in.
Alright, I've done my petals. I'm trying to work on the reverse burning, negative burning.
Well, we're going to do more of that next week, love.
Okay.
Alright, so this petal, and we're getting...
Where's the time on your computer?
It's down at the bottom right.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. We've only
Where
been
they
going an hour?
Yeah, I expected us to go an hour.
Jeez.
Because I want to make sure we covered everything. So, as I'm getting this one burned, this last petal blocked in, and this truly is just a block in, and right now it looks dark, and that's because there's not a lot of burning around it. If you look over here, this petal starts looking lighter because it has more darks in it around it, and that helps us a lot. So I'm gonna, I should have dragged this one. Drag it from the bottom, pull it up.
So what I have learned so far is like the biggest thing is understanding how the heat interacts with the tip in the surface, which sounds like I'm just saying the obvious.
No.
But it's also like pressure and how to hold the pin. Because like I started gouging into the wood when I first started because I was at an angle and, you know, pushing too hard. So there's a lot of factors there to balance.
Yeah, the lighter you can touch down, the better. Now there are times when sometimes you want it a little... Actually, no. If you're using the heat properly of the pen, you can gouge the wood without ever putting more pressure on. And sometimes those gouges, depending on the subject, like the bear I did, it's another bear I did a long time ago.
Is it that bear?
No, I don't have the bear. It's sold.
Oh, that bear.
Yeah, it's sold. The one in the newspaper.
Yeah.
I allowed the tip and the heat to gouge the wood without putting any pressure. So if I'm doing hair, fur, there it starts making texture. And I'm not putting any extra pressure on it. I'm using the heat to create that texture. So I'm still going lightly. And I have a habit of really squeezing my pen. See, just using the heat. You can feel it. But I have a habit of squeezing my pen, which makes my hand tired, but I'm not pushing on the wood hard. And that's the difference. You don't control your heat that way. All you're doing is putting extra wear on your tip. Let's see here. So, I need to remember to look up since I'm the one. So we have a flower head. Do I know if one type is vegetable tan for sure, but cowhide, deer hide is going to be thinner. From what I've been told by leather people, a company, is you probably will want, because of the heat, if it's going to be a flat burning, you probably want cow. Because the deer it's a thinner hide. Let's see here. I don't have a piece of leather hanging around. I don't have any deer leather. I actually would like some, but I don't have any. You probably want to go with cow, especially if it's your first time burning leather until you get used to it. Let me do this with my camera. See. It actually looks darker on screen. I'm going to very quickly lighten it up while we're waiting on you.
Oh, I'm done with the flower panel, so at least it's done as it's going to be right now.
Okay, well, we're working on it next week for the leaves, so
Okay.
let's see how you're doing. You are doing awesome. Let's erase some of this graphite. Can I have, yeah. I'm going to erase some of your lines so that you can see. I probably shouldn't have done that one because you need to know where it's at. You didn't know where it's at.
It's funny because like you always say, "Oh, it looks better on camera." It
Do
doesn't.
you see?
It looks the same.
No, it does not.
It looks the same. My perception of it is different on camera because I'm seeing it objectively. However, it looks the same. I stand by that. Because looking at it objectively through the lens of video, I see.
I'm just trying to get rid of some
I
graphite.
see it differently, but it's the same, Valerie.
But remember, we're going to be in the ugly stage.
I remember nothing.
We're going to be in the ugly stage until we're not. So I think you have a good, let me pop this off screen so we can see it. You have a good start. It looks different from mine because I did put some negative burning in.
I started, but
But see how much darker it needs to be in order for it to work like that?
My instinct was to go like that, but I was unsure of my skills. So,
Well, that's totally normal. Totally normal. But line work wise, looking at it, I mean, even the couple of blobs work because it's a petal.
yeah.
And petals have, the dark discoloration. That's the word I want.
That will tell you I'm all about imperfections in my art. I'm like, yep, that's okay. That's okay.
You are, and
Val's
I'm
like, no!
But in this case,
Burn it
no. In this case,
with fire.
In this case, I think you are doing an awesome job. We're gonna have to work a little bit on the leaves to actually incorporate your blob. We can actually incorporate that so that it looks like it's the darkness in between the lighter areas. So we can use that, and again, leaves have spots too, so not a problem. Hi, Patty. Did I miss a Patty? Oh, there's Patty. Hello from Uruguay. So Greg says, I tend to push too hard sometimes. That will control the burn rate also. It does, but you're more likely to break your pen if you're pushing. I know it's hard, and sometimes, especially if you're used to drawing with graphite or doing anything with graphite, you have this habit of pushing harder to get a darker line.
Yes. That is one of the things that I was noticing.
Yep, that is what causes the issue of more likely to push in pyrography. But with that, we actually need to back off. We use the controller to control our darkness. We use our pen speed and angle of what part of the tip to make a line darker or lighter. So we have to be careful with that.
I understand your lingity.
My lingity? Can I see my pen? Or, yeah, it's still my pen even though you're using it. And there's a reason.
See with your eyes, not with your hands.
Well, I need to see it with my hands.
Fine.
I want to see if there's any carbon because I know you bumped up. You did. You have 0 carbon on your tip.
Oh.
0. Good job. 0.
That's good.
I have
I never
0.
About 2.5.
No, well, no, I'm looking at your dark blobs here. Plus, you were pushing hard, so I just wanted to see the condition of the pen.
Not to push hard, because that is a tendency.
Yeah, I'm looking at the condition of your pen, since we're using the same pen, and yeah, nothing. Looks awesome. You didn't mess up my pen.
Well, that's good to know.
It is, because I do know that you, because of your damaged left hand, you push really hard.
Real hard.
On everything. And so sometimes I do worry a little bit, but you're doing good. And how did you feel having the board propped up? Did you feel any heat in the tip? In your fingertips?
Not really.
Not really?
It was a little uncomfortable for me, though.
Yeah, an easel's better.
With my wrist back.
Yeah.
Did burn with my wrist back.
But look how I guess because of my angle, I'm more flat. Like my wrist the bottom of my hand rests versus this. So maybe that's the difference. And just to show how I raised his board, this was it. This is a piece of wood. 2 big door stops. Angled. That easy. That easy to make an angle. Though I do prefer an easel. And actually, I think next week I will pull my other easel for you and see if that's more comfortable.
This.
No.
Double angle.
Don't work that way. No. Besides, I need those behind my my easel because I was moving. I will set up, because I've got an easel that's right here behind me. I will set that up for you next week.
See, look, genius.
Yes, it runs strong with you. Let me do it. Alright, do you have any other questions? I think you are doing a fabulous job, love. And I think you're doing a really, it does show a beginner.
I had a fabulous teacher.
Yeah, you sleep next to your teacher.
Yeah.
Is there any way?
Yeah.
Is there any way you would like me to explain this differently so that you understand it better?
No.
Because I need to make sure that I am conveying the information.
If I have questions, I'll ask.
Okay. So it's more of give you the basics and just let you go?
Well,
is that more how you feel?
I feel like a lot of art is like if you don't have the practical experience, like the only way you're going to get practical experience is by doing it.
Yeah.
Like people watch Bob Ross and they're like, oh, that's easy, I can do that. And then
until they do it.
And they're like, oh, why doesn't my thing look like his thing? And it's like, well, because you don't have the practice.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that you're going to get better. You can't program it into you. Doing it is the way that your brain works to program it into you. So that's what I have to do. I have to do it.
And I think what kind of threw you off is I transferred your pattern instead of you doing it.
You know, that is a big point.
I think I should have...
I had to decipher like
what I did.
I was like, well, I had to really look at the reference, and I was like, in the case of like the lighter parts on the leaves.
Of these lines.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, so is the line, is that for the boundary of it, or is that actually where it's at? Is that like the center point for where it's at? So I just use that as like a reference, like, okay, it's around there, but then I had to go by the picture.
That's the pattern, yeah.
You know, and I see now why, and I was thinking this, I didn't say it, but I see now why, like, when you're, the most of the time, you don't usually give your pattern, because it's
what I need.
It's important for each person to do their own pattern, because I would have probably done it a lot different.
Okay, so next time I'll have you do your own pattern.
Yeah, because I have to tune my brain into a way that you think.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Bye, Mike.
Which is crazy.
I know, it is crazy.
No. No, it's just you have different priorities of things that lines that you...
I tried to make it as simple as possible.
Oh, it worked.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just saying I would have done it differently. A little bit differently. Because of how I'm used to work and doing, you know, my references.
Yeah.
So, that's just my preference, that's all. I had to adapt. But I think it's important, though, because in the process of doing the pattern,
yeah,
you're also learning the reference. You know,
you're creating muscle memory for when you go to burn.
You were seeing, because I had to look and see, all right, if this line means what, and I would have to look on the reference where it is. But if I had done the pattern, I would have already been through that thought process, and I would know, like, oh, this is because there's a thing that's underneath that leaf. So.
Okay, so next time we do this, I need to have you create your own pattern.
Yep.
So maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a good beginner video of you learning how to make a pattern for burning.
Yeah, because I think that's the big thing, and it's not even that your pattern is very good. That's not the issue. The issue is my interpretation of the pattern, which wouldn't be an issue if I had done it.
Okay. Well, we don't have a way to. No, that's not a piece of wood that I can resand. I could have you redraw the pattern the way you want it.
No, I'm good, but I'm tuned into this now. So now.
Okay, so you're fine now.
Yeah, so now, if I was to change step in the middle,
yeah,
I think it would mess me up because now I understand, like, oh, this line means this. So if I was to do it my way, then I would be like, oh, why did I put this here? I need to continue on to completion with this, I think.
I'm wondering if it should be a speed video of me drawing out my pattern and then you draw out your pattern and then I put them side by side so that people can see that we see information differently.
So in yours, it's like you're drawing out your pattern and it's like an elegant pen and classical music playing. And
no, you
in mine, I'd be like...
Yeah, see, Sheila thinks it would be good to see us both do.
Yeah. Boy, our activity graph looks weird today. It's all flat. Normally it's like spikes. I think that's good.
I think you just spoke backwards.
What?
It's going like that.
No, normally there's more peaks, like spiky peaks, and this looks more like Sedona.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. All right, so next week we'll focus specifically on the leaves because we actually have part of these leaves push back into the darkness. So we do kind of need to focus on that. Again, I'm not putting in all the leaves or stems because I actually think it would be too much for this one flower for the burning part.
So we're going to leave some out?
So we're going to leave some leaves out. Yes. Yes. I heard what you did there. I heard what you did. Actually, I went too dark. You did yours better. I went too dark shape-wise. I'll have to fix mine. Actually, I don't have to fix it. It's a flower. Who cares?
You do you.
Who cares? Alrighty.
It's like your shirt says, I do what I want.
Oh yeah, it does say that, doesn't it? I forgot. Bro says, on the other hand, it is good to use another's pattern because if you use pattern books, that is what you get. I would love to be able, even though I give my patterns. Oh. I would like to, I mean, you could still use patterns, but I'd like to have everybody creating their own pattern at some point.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I do too. And Greg said he likes the blobs. Jason gives it character.
Yeah.
So give it character.
Yeah, by the end of this, it's going to have a mustache and a knife. It's not...
Googly eyes.
It's going to have character.
Thank you, Scotty. All right, so I think we're going to go from there. Oh, real quick. I know it's the end. I should have said it at the beginning. Down in the description, I have the membership tiers for Ko-fi. If you can't join YouTube for whatever reason on the paid membership, you can do it this way through Ko-fi. Or if you don't have Facebook, you can go this route and see everything that I'm posting as well, because I'm going to make sure to move the information back and forth. That way, everybody can have access. Yay! Anything else? Oh, yes, and you get to say it with us today.
What is it?
You get to say it with us today.
I get to say the thing today?
You get to say the thing today.
All right.
All right. Say it right. Say it right. All right, guys. Say it with us. You're awesome.
Say it right.
You can do this.
My arm hurts.
Why? Because you're a pyro artist.
I don't know about
Happy
that.
burning, guys. See you next week. Bye.
I sabotage. I'm a saboteur.